Dan Illman, Mike Beer kicking off a pick 5 at Santa Anita on Saturday with race number 5. Graded stakes action for the sprinters. It's the San Carlos, a grade 3, going 7/8 of a mile for 200 grand. Let's take a peek at this field. Two horses figuring to take a lot of money in here. Your morning line favorite, Forbidden Kingdom, who won the San Vicente sprinting last year. The San Felipe going 2 turns last year and is coming off a pace-setting effort in the Malibu. He is fast from the gate. And then you've got Get Her Number, who ran second in the Cigar Mile 2 starts back and then might have gone a little bit too long against a little bit too tough in the Pegasus World Cup. He gets the drop in class and distance that he likely is going to appreciate.
Yeah, it's got to help the number 5, Get Her Number, just cutting back to sprint here. They're the two, right short prices on the morning line, Dan. They both are talented. They both have something to recommend them here. Forbidden Kingdom is wicked fast from the gate. I feel like he will make the lead in this race. And, Get Her Number likes to sit and make a little bit of a later run, but he should have a perfectly acceptable setup in this race.
Let's throw up the time form U.S. pace projector. It agrees with Mike's assessment, and I agree as well. Forbidden Kingdom is very fast from the stalls. I think he's going to make the running in here, and he's going to take him as far as he can, as fast as he can. Spirit of Makina, very impressive thus far. Gets the acid test from a class and pace standpoint. I think Get Her Number could be a little bit closer if the pace is moderate. He's just fine there if they go fast.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think when this race is over, if for whatever reason Get Her Number doesn't get up at the end, I don't think you're going to say that he didn't have a fair setup in this race. I think they'll be going fast enough. And if they aren't, it's not like he's supposed to be totally compromised in here. To me, the big question as far as pace goes, it probably centers around the 3, Spirit of McKenna. Dan, he's not going to outrun Forbidden Kingdom to the lead, but he's shown speed in all 3 of his starts so far. So is he going to be able to sort of that horse chasing, which could potentially cost him at the end?
The number 1 is Holden the Loot, proven to be a very prescient $40,000 claim by trainer Mark Glatt. 5 starts for Glatt. He's gotten 2 wins, 3 seconds, and maybe the key to his last victory, the race we're going to show you right now, was that he successfully cut back to 7/8. He'd been running well going 2 turns without winning, but this was the first time he'd sprinted in a while, and he got a great trip against a weaker field. He pressed the pace setter, he takes over in the stretch, and he draws off, and he kicks home like a horse that should after prompting moderate fractions.
Yeah, it's a dominant win for him. They just put him right up outside the leader from the start of that race. He always looked like he was going to win, Dan. He put that horse away very easily and just powered home. A very strong performance from him. He earned a 98 Beyer speed figure, which is the best he's ever run. You can't knock his current form right now, but he just wasn't really beating much of a field last time, Dan, and this is a huge step up in class for him.
He's always been a nice allowance horse. Now we'll find out if he's ready for stakes competition. Now's the right time to try it. As Mike mentioned, it appears he's in the form of his career, but he's not going to get the trip he had last time, sitting just off of an easy pace. He's going to have to probably come from out of it. We'll see. He's a rock-solid horse, 6-1 on the morning line for Frankie. The 2 is Forbidden Kingdom. We'll watch his effort in the Malibu. His final start at 3, and he went right to the lead from the inside post. He didn't run the turn very well. It looked like he was trying to get out. Here it looks like he's going to start tiring and plummet to the back of the pack, but the horse outside of the winner, Tabe, is going to get tired, and Forbidden Kingdom in the straightaway straightens out and gets up for second.
Yeah, he's going to come back on for second here. I wonder how much credit he'll actually get from some people, Dan, just for managing to come back on there and be second best at the end of that race, because I don't know. I don't want to give him too much credit for it. We picked up that replay when he was sort of already under pressure. He had already been overtaken by Taba, and it just was really no match for that horse. He came back on to get second. But the first part of that race is the part that really concerns me. And I realized it was a grade 1, but he was basically loose on the lead in there. I didn't really feel like they were going that fast in the race, and he really was still no match when they came to challenge him. I don't know. He can obviously win here. Maybe it'll just blast off, run one of his good races and win. I haven't really been thrilled with either of his last 2 starts, though.
But a little old school training from Mr. Mandela. Blew him out a 1/4 mile the other day. The 3 is Spirit of McKenna, and this horse has done little to nothing wrong. 3 starts only for this lightly raced 5-year-old, but 2 wins. And he returned off of a layoff last time out to score, going 3/4 of a mile. And this is a race in which he took some pressure from the start, and he showed no ill effects from the layoff. In fact, he's getting away from these horses in the stretch. He got a very strong Beyer speed figure for this race, and maybe there's still some some upside. He's been managed very patiently and very well by his connections.
Yeah, he's run well in all three starts too. This is the kind of race here. It felt like when you watched the first part of it, Dan, they probably could have cleared if they wanted to, and not, had this horse take pressure on the lead. But they elected to just sort of not go aggressively and let horses surround him. And you saw what he did once he was asked for some run in the stretch. He just powered away from that field. I thought that was a good performance. I really liked his debut as well. And even his second start, when Holding the Loop got him at the end, but this horse ran really well that day, taking pressure on the lead. I don't know. I like this distance for him. I like this spot for him. And I feel like if he can just settle a little bit and not go too hard after Forbidden Kingdom on the early lead, I think he's a player in here.
The number 4 is Clem Labine, a California bred, a likable one at that. He's won 11 times. I've never really thought of him as a stakes horse. He was entered for the optional claiming tag last time out. He sort of clunked up for second behind Holding the Loot. He probably is just hoping for a real barbecue up front and a pace collapse.
Yeah, another horse that kind of feels like he's improved since he was claimed last summer, but this is it looks like a race that's going to be way too tough for him. He was very game to get second last time, but he never felt like he was going to win that race, and he was no match for Holding the Loop.
You get a number. The number 5 had a very big second half of 2022. Grade 1 placed in the Bing Crosby, graded stakes placed in the Pat O'Brien, just missed in the Cigar Mile. And last time out, they tried to stretch him out to a 1 1/8 in the Pegasus. That's probably not his game. And the Pegasus has come back very strong thus far. 3 next out winners.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to hold that last race against him. They took a shot to stretch him out there just to see what would happen. And he had run well going longer before, but that's not his best distance by any stretch. He was okay, I thought, in the Cigar Mile 2 back. I really liked his allowance win off the layoff when he stayed really gamely to close down Forbidden Kingdom at the end. I don't know. I think in some ways, I think he's the horse to beat in here, mostly because I'm not really sold on Forbidden Kingdom.
Mark Glatt trainees bookend this field. He also has the number 6, Howbeit, who earned graded stakes victory in the Santa Anita Sprint Championship 3 starts back, but then had his number in a high-level allowance back at Del Mar in November. He ran off the layoff in the Palos Verdes. Maybe he needed the race. I wish he ran a little bit better.
Yeah, me too. I didn't love that last performance. Even when he won that graded stakes 3 back then, kind of had all the best of it that day. A big contested pace in front of him. He just sat off it, came with a run down the outside. And still, I mean, when I go back, every time I go back and watch that replay, I still don't think he won. But I guess he did. I guess it's a bad angle with the camera there. But he got the job done there with a perfect triple. Need another one here.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the San Carlos. 2 horses in here figure to take the money. We're going to look for some alternatives. Spirit of McKenna has some upside. He might be in closest attendance for Forbidden Kingdom early, and if Forbidden Kingdom spits it, you might be in front.
I'm hoping that's how it works out, Dan. Listen, I'm not way against the 2 favorites in this race, but I don't love either one of those 2 horses. I don't think they have to win. I like what I've seen from Spirit McKenna. All 3 of his starts are good.
I need more than the 6-1 that Holding the Loot is offering on the morning line. I think he's in career form right now. I like that they've cut him back to 7/8 of a mile, and I think he can sit in mid-pack off a contested pace and come with a run. 3-5-2-1 for Mike, 1-2-3-5 for me. Nice addition of the San Carlos. Only a field of 6, but some quality in here. Best of luck.